maintaining focus and maintaining a high energy approach is crucial to success in the long term. Hey, it's Rob back here with Chapter 8 from Heads Up Baseball, and this is the chapter that's about fielding and base running, and we are here to take that information and use it in our daily lives to improve things and to gain more success in life, right? So, fielding and base running in baseball is all about staying focused and energized, and that is what we're going to talk about here. If you have been following along this whole time and you aren't subscribed yet, then subscribe. Like this video if you're getting something out of this content, and please head over to the website where you can join the community. That's www.yoursoulsource.com/resources. You can enter your email there, and I will set you up with our newsletter and also send you my notes for this book so that you have those while you continue along and on your journey here, and you can go back through the other chapters and use the notes for those too. So, okay, fielding and base running here in Chapter 8. What are we looking at here? Well, again, fielding and base running come down to staying focused and energized at all times. And that's the challenge. If you've played baseball or if you know much about baseball, there's a lot of, I guess, what's called downtime. Now, to a ball player, it's not downtime, at least not a good one, a good ball player, because during that downtime, you've got to remain focused somehow. And so you're active in your brain, right? So it's not really downtime at all. The time between pitches, that's a time where you need to be preparing yourself, okay? And you should be prepared by the time the pitch is thrown. And so when it comes to, this is specifically with defense now, when it comes to defense, the challenge can be, sometimes you'll go 3 innings without the ball being hit to you. Unless you're the pitcher or the catcher, you don't even know if you're going to get any action that inning at all. Who knows? The catcher or the pitcher might strike out the side. He might strike out all 3 guys, right? So the ball's never even put in play. That's possible. You get a real good pitcher out there, and then you get somebody on the other side who doesn't have as good of a day, and you just went out there and played defense and stood around for 10 minutes while your pitcher struck out the side, and then you went into the dugout and spent 40 minutes hitting and scored 7 runs, and now you go back out to play the field, and you got to play defense again, and it's been like an hour since the last time you were out there. It feels like it, right? And you never even had a ball hit to you. You didn't do anything. You didn't have to move or run or anything. The pitcher struck out the side. So that happens sometimes in baseball. Now, that's an extreme, but the bottom line is that it takes some effort to stay focused and stay energized. And just like in life, right? It takes effort to stay focused and to stay energized. There's a lot of things in our world that try and pull us away from whatever, right? From whatever we're doing, from whatever we're focused on. And those things can sometimes distract us in terms of our focus. They can also sometimes completely pull us away from the task that we're working on. And then when we come back to another task, we're not as energized for it anymore, right? And we're certainly not as focused. So maintaining focus and maintaining a high energy approach is crucial to success in the long term. Again, probably not something I have to tell you, but it is something that is backed up by my own experience and by the authors of this book, so I wanted to throw it in there. One of the biggest things that you have to do in baseball, if you are talking about fielding versus hitting, is you have to separate past performances from now. You have to be where your feet are. You have to be present. You have to be in the now. You cannot be thinking now while you're in the field about how you struck out to end the inning the last time up, and you made the last out by striking out. If you are thinking about that still when you go out into the field to play defense, you're almost guaranteed to make an error if the ball is hit to you. And baseball has a way, as many of you know who follow the sport, of getting the ball to you in those circumstances. It's something nobody really understands, but when you don't want the ball to find you in baseball, it'll find you. There's no real way to explain it. It's just true. Anyway, you need to be able to separate your setbacks from your progress now, right? From what you're doing now to make things different, to make things better, to get the result that you want. Okay, so if you made a mistake at some point during your day and you need to atone for that mistake, and you can't think about atoning for that mistake, right? You can't get in there and think, oh man, I messed this up, and now I need to do this and this and this to make it better. That's not usually going to be the right approach, right? Most times, if you mess up, you just need to move on. Okay, and yes, you need to learn something from it, but maybe now isn't the time to learn from whatever it was that you messed up. Maybe you need to do that later on, like at the end of the night when you're journaling. Okay, I'm going to reference a lot of things that we've talked about throughout all these other chapters. So if this is the first one that you're seeing, the first video, go back and watch the other chapters. Start from the beginning. Start from chapter 1. This will all make a lot more sense to you. But if you're writing a journal at the end of the night, or if you are if you have a job where maybe you're a business owner, maybe you're an entrepreneur, you have some way that you can sit down after the fact and analyze, right? Analyzing in the middle of whatever task usually is not very productive, okay? And it's not the way that you want to really go about producing the result, okay? You need to stay focused, and that'll pull you off of your focus. So what you want to do is block it, separate everything that has already happened, no matter what the outcome, no matter what the result, no matter how you feel about it. That's really important, to separate your feelings, okay, from now, from this moment. What can I do now? Okay? Don't get ahead of yourself. Just think about, what can I do now? Okay? And if there was any bigger key to success and to achieving what you want, I don't know what it is. Being in the now and being able to move forward no matter what has happened in your past, I again, probably don't have to tell you, is a major benefit to you and will help you to succeed in the long run. So you want to separate out your performances, right? And when it comes to baseball, we're talking about defense and hitting, right? Or defense and base running even, like, offense and defense, right? So if you made a mistake at the plate, or if you made a mistake running the bases or whatever, you can't carry that with you into the field. And if you make a mistake in the field, you make an error and you allow 3 runs to score for the other team, you can't go up the next inning and go to bat thinking about that error. Because 1, 2, 3, you're going to strike out faster than you even knew, right? Or get real weak contact and make an out because you're not focused on one pitch at a time. You are still reliving the pitches that happened last inning when you made that error, okay? So again, in life, when things happen and we don't get the result we want, we just move on. We just move forward, okay? That's the most effective remedy. One last thing that they do talk about in the book that I want to mention is something called the circle of intensity. And this is sort of a correlative to the circle of focus, right? The circle of control, I should say. So the circle of control is where you need to be in order to be under control. And in order to gain self-control, you need to live in the circle of control. Well, when you have something that's a high-intensity sort of job, right? And in baseball, being a professional baseball player, and the reactions that you need to be able to play well and play at a major league level, that's intense. So when you have an intense role, an intense job, what often helps is to have kind of almost a dichotomy, these 2 different kind of zones that you're in. And on the baseball field, it's actually physical. You can at your position, wherever you stand, you can kind of mentally step into what they call the circle of intensity. All right. Now for you, the circle of intensity might begin at your office door, right? Or when you go to pick up the phone call to make that first sales call of the day, or whatever it might happen to be for you, okay? The super high intense moments that come about in your day, you want to be prepared for those. You want to know going in that you can trust yourself to perform well. And the way you do that is create your circle of intensity, All right. And the circle of intensity means that, for instance, let's go back to the office door one. When I go through that office door, I'm leaving everything else behind me. And I'm going in to do what I need to do today to get the result that this company needs. And that, I don't care if you're an employee or if you're the owner or whatever you are. Okay. Leave it all behind and go in your intense mode, and that being your circle of intensity, right? You open that door, you cross the threshold, that office is your circle of intensity. It doesn't have to literally be a circle, okay? But you step into that circle of intensity. And once you do, you are that person. You are no longer the person who has 50 different things going on in his life or her life, and problems at home, and problems with friends, and problems with money, and problems with this, and problems with that, and all these different, I don't mean to harp on problems, but you get my point. All that baggage, all that stuff, you leave it all behind at the door, and you walk through that door, and that is your circle of intensity, right? And that, as much as anything is going to ready you, right, for your day and help you stay focused and stay energized, okay? So again, this is a chapter that's very specific to base running and fielding. And the last chapter was very specific to hitting, and the one before that very specific to pitching. So these last 3 chapters, I've gone a little shorter on the videos, and I've gone a little shorter on the explanations, because most of this stuff is sort of covered already in the first 5 chapters, right? And now all they did in the book was kind of specifically lay it out for these different roles in the game of baseball. But again, you can take these ideas here and you can figure out your roles in life, right? And if one of my roles is as an employee at a company, then creating this circle of intensity for myself is something that I can do, right? To help me stay focused and stay energized, okay, throughout my day. And so that's what I'm after here, right? Is trying to figure out how we can use this stuff in our lives. And I'm giving you how I use this stuff in my life. All right. And that's where all this comes from, is my personal experience. I read this book years and years ago, and I've used it as a personal growth guide ever since. And that's why I want to share it here. So, Chapter 8, all about fielding and base running. If you got something out of this, please like this video. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything as we come up with more and more stuff here. There's going to be a whole bunch more books that come up, not just sports books, although I'm big into sports, and I know probably a lot of you are too, and competition, and that's all good stuff. But there will be more books coming up. You can comment on this video and you can share it with people who you think it may benefit. And the biggest thing to do, and the number one thing that I want everybody to do, is come over to the website, to the resources page. That's yoursoulsource.com/resources, where you can sign up for the email list, and I will send you the email newsletter, and I will also send you, once I have your email address, my notes for this book, and we can chat via email. You can send me your notes for this book, and we can compare and contrast and all that good fun stuff, because we're all trying to learn from each other and collaborate so that we can all win together, right? We chase success here. That's what we do. And all of us deserve to win, and all of us have the right to win. So let's all help each other. That's the goal here. That's what Your Soul Source is all about. So I'll see you over at the website, and I will see you in Chapter 9 next.
I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.